Punt It Long, episode 15. This week's episode is going to be a World Cup edition because obviously it's starting tomorrow, and to kick us off we're going to talk about the Spain manager situation. This all started off with Zinedine Zidane controversially leaving Real Madrid at the end of the season after winning the Champions League. Since then, obviously, Real Madrid has been looking for a first team manager again, and a day before the World Cup kicks off, the Spain manager takes the Real Madrid job without telling his colleagues at the Spain FA, I suppose you would call it. Then, subsequently after that, they have sacked him due to them not finding out that he was going to be taking this job after the World Cup. So now, Spain are without a manager going into the World Cup, and it's set everyone up in a sense of disarray. Like, why has this happened so close to a major competition? I don't think that manager had actually been beaten yet. Here's his record here: 20 games, 14 wins, 6 draws, 0 losses, 61 goals and only 13 conceded, and he's obviously taken them to the World Cup. And I read that only one manager that's managed over 10 games for Spain has a better record, and that was Vicente Del Bosque, I think. But it's crazy, like, days before a World Cup starts and you've decided to not tell your colleagues that you're going to be taking another job when the country has such a big thing coming up. At least the Spanish Football Association has such a big tournament to look forward to, and you're in charge of that team and you go and take another job, don't tell anybody, and then get sacked from that, leaving them with no manager going into this competition. It's so strange, and you'll probably never see anything like that again. Managers that could go on to take the Spain job though, well, I can think of a few. Alan Pardew, Fraud FC, and a certain man that decided to go to Spain recently, in recent years, and put on a bit of an accent.
They have been training with me dos, tres, cuatro times.
You can't say you didn't get a good laugh on this channel. I'm not going to cover too many subjects in this episode of Punt It Long, just simply because I'm going to be doing World Cup content in spurts around the summer, just kind of covering what happens. But I'm going to cover next the amount of good quality players that aren't going to this World Cup. I'm going to focus on 3 main players that have been key to their club sides this season. In particular, 2 that I know have been really good because I've seen them in action on TV and stuff like that. The first one was Raja Nainggolan of Roma. Of course, he's been part of the midfield that Roma got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. They did pretty well in their league as well, but Raja Nainggolan is known to be this great midfielder in the Italian leagues anyway, and he's now not been chosen as part of the Belgium squad, which you can see why. I mean, Belgium don't exactly have a lack of talent, but to leave out someone of Raja Nainggolan's quality just baffles me. And the other 2 have been 2 fantastic goal scorers for their clubs, and that's Mauro Icardi and Leroy Sané. It's utterly despicable to me that they can leave out Leroy Sané from the German squad but take a player like Julian Brandt, who's scored and assisted just about half of what Sané has in the Premier League. Sané's won the League Cup, the Premier League, and I think he got Young Player of the Year. It just baffles me. In between them, they've got 43 goals this season. How can you leave out that type of quality from any national side? And obviously Icardi's an Argentinian player, but how can you leave out that sort of quality going into these type of competitions? Goals are going to win you games, and you're leaving out 2 fantastic goal scorers and 2 brilliant talents. I just don't get it. We'll see if it actually affects them in the tournament, whether they have a lack of goal scoring intent in their teams, but who knows. Other notable mentions that are going to the World Cup is 2 French forwards, Anthony Martial and Alexandre Lacazette. Lacazette's had a good second half of the season. Perhaps the fact that Arsenal haven't done as well this season as they have done in previous years has maybe hindered him a bit, and the fact that he didn't play as much at the very start for Arsene Wenger. And then Anthony Martial has obviously had his problems at Manchester United with Jose Mourinho, and that's been well documented. I'm not actually that surprised that he's not going, but again, it's such a huge talent to leave out of a squad. And finally, here on Punt It Long, we'll go full circle and back to my team Dunfermline. We're looking like might be making a few signings in the next few days, incomings rather than outgoings, and it's really positive to see because I think a lot of fans really kind of just felt all up in the air, and there was a lot of wet in the bed. And not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with being a bit concerned about the amount of departures, but it is only the 13th of June and pre-season starting tomorrow. We're going to make signings, and whilst it isn't great to keep seeing departure, there's players leaving our club, they've went and joined elsewhere. Every team goes through it at some point. Morton have less players than us and they're in the same league and hoping to be as ambitious as us this season coming. Dundee United let go a shit ton of players at the end of last season, and there's multiple teams in our position as well. Partick Thistle is another one. So we're going to sign players, and it looks like there's going to be a few in the next week or so at least, because obviously with pre-season starting, things will start to pick up again. Players will be coming back for holidays and wanting their pay, so I'm sure we'll see movement in East End Park. There might even be movement when I'm making this video, and I might edit it a bit in. There could also be movement tonight, and I might have to make a video tomorrow about it. Who knows? I'm hoping for a few positive additions to at least put up the spirits in Dunfermline fans, because I'm sick of seeing all this negative talk about relegation this and AG out that. We need to get behind the team, and it's going to be a very tough league next season, and there's no reason why we can't at least be challenging as long as we can make the right signings. But the other side of that is that we need to get behind the team no matter who's out there, because even if you don't have the best team, fans getting behind you and that kind of camaraderie in a club can really set you to places that you might not be entitled to. We've seen it with Livy last season. That's it for this episode of Punt It Long. Cheers for watching, and as I've said before, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more of this type of content. Doing content throughout the summer, I've said it before, but tell anybody that you think might be interested in watching this type of content, because I really appreciate any feedback I get. Leave your comments below. But I've said your thoughts on the World Cup, who's going to win it, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys.